It's time for another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today is Carolina football. We are less than a week away from the Tar Heels taking on West Virginia in the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte. A couple of 8-4 teams going at it. Carolina the shot to get a ninth win for the second consecutive year that has not happened at UNC. Since the 96 and 97 teams won 10 and 11 games, respectively. But the topic here isn't about the wins. We'll dive into the win stuff as we get closer to the bowl game. Topic here are some young guys you guys are going to see. And I think for all the crap that we've dumped on bowl games, and for the fact that I did a podcast last week saying bowl games are irrelevant, they don't mean anything, they should stop, whatever the case may be. If there is a reason to get excited about bowl games, aside from having a chance at winning another game, aside at one of the cool things I like where they have teams play that don't usually play, this will be the third all-time meeting between North Carolina and West Virginia, believe it or not. Last year, Carolina played Oregon. A few years ago, they played Baylor in a bowl game. So that side of bowl games, I still love and think is great. This side as well, with the young guys getting an opportunity to play. As much as none of you want to remember the Mayo Bowl 2 years ago, one thing that came out of that game that was a positive were the snaps that Power Eccles got at linebacker. Helped him tremendously that offseason, and he was an entrenched starter from day one the following year. Now, I'm not saying these four guys are going to be entrenched starters. I think one of them will be. But you get a chance to see four players that very few of you have ever paid any attention to. And they're going to play a lot. Conor Harrell as a redshirt freshman, and then three true freshmen on defense. I'm going to go over each one of them real quickly and tell you why this game should be interesting to you, because these guys are going to ball out. They're going to play their best. They're auditioning. They are trying to impress, so they're bringing their A games. So you can guarantee that. So watch them. If you're lukewarm about the game, if you're pissed off about losing 4 of the last 5 ACC games, a year after losing the last 4, which is a year after how they closed poorly, even in 2021, I get it. But there are things to watch for. Well, Conor Harrell has only played 21 snaps, very limited time. He ran on the field one time, took a snap when I think Drake's helmet came off. That time Drake got banged up, took a couple snaps. Didn't go well, but things were going well in either one of those games, I don't believe, at that time anyway. Although I think one of them was Pittsburgh. I can't remember what happened in that snap. Bottom line is he's got 21 snaps. Most came against Campbell. He did some nice things in that game, but none of that even matters. What matters is that he woke up last Wednesday, more than a week ago, knowing he was QB1 because Drake May opted out. Jefferson Boaz is still there. Ted Hudson's still there, but Conor Harrell's way ahead of them. So he's the quarterback. And he's been QB1. He showed up to the football facility that morning. I'm QB1. And there's something different about being QB1. You got to carry yourself differently. And he told us that he was working on that. We talked to him last week. He said, yeah, you got to have a little extra skip in your step. You got to be more vocal. You got to be louder when you're vocal. You got to be more perceptive of what's around you. Got to be a little more of a face maker. Talked to Chip Lindsey on Monday. He's got to huddle them on the sideline before they run out and run the offense. So for Carolina fans, yes, they brought in Max Johnson, but don't you want to see what Conor Harrell's all about? I mean, I know you'd love to see Drake May in this game, but he's not going to play. So at the very minimum, what does Harrell have? How does he play? Sometimes in bowl games, guys in this situation blow up. And they play great. And there's something about being on that stage that brings something out of them that nobody had seen before. Sometimes they falter. Sometimes they really struggle. We have no idea what's going to happen with Harrell. But the intrigue is the fact that we don't. And if he does play well, boy, that springboards him into a great offseason. And maybe there is a competition between Max Johnson and Conor Harrell in the spring, in OTAs or player-led practices in the offseason. And then once fall camp starts next August, or maybe even at the end of July, since they have an August opener at Minnesota. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's going to be fun to see what the kid can do. Amari Campbell, most of you know who he is because we've talked him up a lot. He did get some reps this year, played several snaps here and there, ended up getting 70 snaps on the year, graded out very high. He's someone that staff was talking up as soon as fall camp opened, back at the beginning of August. Teammates were talking him up. Cedric Gray a couple times talked about how Amari's a baller. I asked Power Uncles last week, I said, is Amari ready for the workload he's going to get? He said, absolutely, right now, ready to go. So Monday, Gene Chizik said, absolutely. He said that he's very cerebral, very instinctive. He said even in spring last year when he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing, didn't know where his fits were, didn't know anything really about what he was supposed to be doing, he was still around the ball all the time. So he's got those instincts that you must have to play linebacker. You guys are going to see a lot of him. He's going to play just about every snap. Now, he's moving into Power's position. Power was the Mike. Amari's moving into the Mike. Power's moving out to the Will. So that'll be interesting to see Power making some more calls and having to do a little bit more covering. Although the two positions, because of the way teams run offenses now, are far more similar to what they were maybe 15 years ago. So it'll be cool watching Amari get out there and just ball out, go 70, 75 snaps, see what he can do. Caleb Cost is someone whose name came up every once in a while in August. We heard that he was, in fact, I was at a practice and he was out there with the 1s and 2s playing star. And that was right after DeAndre Boykins got hurt. They were trying to figure out the star situation. It ended up being Elijah Huzzy, who was brought in to be a shutdown corner and an interception guy. He ended up doing a really good job at star, but he's out. They have quite a few guys that are out. So you're going to see a lot of Caleb Cost. DJ Jones is someone who is transferring. He played some star as well. So Caleb is someone that Gene Chizik said also has tremendous instincts. And he highlighted, when we asked him about Caleb, he highlighted how good a baseball player he was. He was a great baseball player in high school. Has those instincts of tracking a ball. You know, the hand-eye coordination that's so valuable in baseball. And he alluded to an interception that Caleb had last year to seal the deal in a state championship game that won it for his team. And Gene said, if you haven't looked it up, look it up. So I'm going to tell you guys, go ahead and look it up. He said that's the instinct. That play is an example of the instincts that Caleb Cost brings to the field, and that fans will see that. He's an athletic dude. He's a dude that can go sideline to sideline. And I can't wait to see what kind of physicality he plays with, because a star needs to play with a level of physicality. And West Virginia is the number 3 rushing attack in America. They're going to run at the Tar Heels. They're also going to throw some wrinkles in there. So Caleb's going to have to use his cerebral side as well as his athletic side and his physical side. So it'll be fun to see how he plays. The other guy is Trey Miller, who's going to play some at corner, because you got Huzzy out, got some other dudes out. You're in a situation where they got to have a body over there. And Gene said, you know, they really thought that they were going to get Trey on the field a lot earlier in the season, but he was dinged up a few times. And seemingly every time it looked like he was coming back from being dinged up and ready to get on the field, something else would happen. He'd have another setback. But he's healthy. He's been practicing well. He's been the guy every day going out there. So he's going to get a lot of reps in the game. So people are going to see what he can do. He's going to have some challenges. But I think from a coverage standpoint, West Virginia has not been a very prolific passing team. And I know that Garrett Green, their quarterback, has gotten better through the air as the season's gone on. But they're looking at Carolina, and they're looking at the number 85 or 86 rushing defense in the country. They're the number 3 rushing offense. And it is not rocket science to figure out what West Virginia's game plan is going to be. So Trey Miller is going to have to be careful about the long one, about the long ball, because sometimes teams will run, and then they'll try to pop for a long one with a veteran receiver against a true freshman corner, but also how he plays the run. Carolina's had some very talented corners in the past that didn't always play the run that great. So whether or not Trey Miller makes the right kind of impression could as much do with how he plays the run as how he covers. And it's always interesting to watch true freshmen handle the physicality of college football. Even though these guys have been around a while now, they're still true freshmen. They haven't finished their freshman year yet. So that'll be interesting to watch. So Carolina fans, however you feel about the bowl game, whatever you feel about the Tar Heels' chances in this game, whatever you feel about losing 4 of the last 5 in the ACC, put that aside for a moment and think about the fact that you get to watch Conor Harrell, Amari Campbell, Caleb Cost, and Trey Miller play in the bowl game. How will they play? What kind of futures do they have? Will they offer glimpses into a bright future? If they do, that makes the bowl game even that much more worth it, regardless of the outcome. And of course, I know you guys want to win. But seeing these guys play, getting a little bit of intel, and them getting a head start on next season is one of the good things about why bowl games are still around and might still be around for a little bit longer, but who knows? We go to the 12-game playoff. It'll be very interesting to see what bowl games look like in the future. But for now, you get to watch these youngins play. So enjoy it. Soak it in. Focus on them. And if they play well, corral it, man. Corral it as a huge positive for this team and for themselves moving into next season. If you're excited about watching these newcomers play in the bowl game, go ahead and click like. If you're excited about the game, go ahead and click like anyway. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you get updates every time we post a video. Tell your friends we exist, not just here on the channel, but also our site. Because remember, guys, for just $8.33 a month, you can be a Tar Heel Insider too. Just $8.33 a month. That's what helps keeps us afloat and rolling. Because remember, we go where the Tar Heels go. I'm AJ, and I appreciate you stopping by.